Okay, folks, welcome to Sunday Night Futures Live. This is Bob Desmond, and we have a big announcement tonight. Something I've been working on for quite a while, and it is going to be launched very, very soon. So, first, I want to talk about Bitcoin is crashing here at the open. Bitcoin during the regular hours session was down about 3.5%. Now that the futures markets has opened up, it's down nearly 6.5%. So, big problem. So much for the safe haven play, the store of value versus gold for Bitcoin. I think that question has been answered here this evening. So let's take a quick peek at the futures market to see what else is going on. I got to share my screen because I will forget. It says I'm already sharing. Why does it say that? Something is wrong. And no doubt I am the culprit. That's not the fix. I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to share again. Bam. That worked. All right. Let's say hello to folks. Franklin. Thank you, Franklin. I hope everybody had a great weekend. OG1 Kenobi. I haven't heard from you in a long time. How you doing, pal? Long time. Jeffrey. Welcome. Paul. Good evening to you, my friend. Thank you for the sound check. Always appreciated. Always with an exclamation point. Okay, let's talk a little bit about South Florida. Do you have a storm heading towards you? I read that on the news. Is that actual? Is that really happening? Hopefully not. Okay, so that's Bitcoin. Let's take a look at the equity markets. These are the mid caps. Mid caps are opening down a little over a quarter percentage point. This is a 30-minute chart. Let's drill down further. Let's go 5-minute view. Get a vibe for the volume. Not much volume here. Sticking with equities. Let's go to the Pimp Mac Daddies. The E-minis. Wow. E-minis opening down nearly a percentage point. I don't even want to look at the NQ, but let's look at the NQ. NQ gap, wow. Gapping down 1.37% was actually more than that. Okay, I'm going to pause here. And I'm going to make a call. If they open us up as we are right now, bright red futures, I think that we rebound tomorrow. I think that we get a reversal day. Making the call, putting myself out there. We did the weekend commentary. I know where the support levels are. At current, we are breaching them. You need a washout. You need a bloodbath in the morning so that buyers can come in with fresh money. What you're seeing right now is forced liquidation. They want stops blown out. So tomorrow morning, if they gap us down and it's real ugly, very, very good chance that you see some buying in the equity markets. Does that mean that the floor is in, the bottom is in? No, I don't think so. I think that you got to sell any rally here and then establish short positions because in all probability, we are going lower. So at current, as I've been speaking here, we're holding these losses. They're trying to fight back. Let's go to a 1-minute chart here, which I rarely do. You can see that they haven't taken out the lows. We're going to get a little bit of a rally here in all probability. Triangle formation. They could come up and fill this gap. Let's see what happens here. Again, this is a 1-minute chart, NASDAQ 100. Basically, the triple Qs. So not a lot of volume here to the buy side. Not a lot of volume at all. You can see it's already failing. You got to have volume. So if we fail and we break to new lower lows, it's just the market saying, you know what? You're not at a level in the market where you have buyers of like mind willing to step in and to support the market. That's just what it is. You can see they're going to try to take out the lows here in a moment on the NQ. We'll stick with the NQ because this is where the action is at current. And again, the NQ is the NASDAQ 100, basically the triple Qs. If they're able to take out this high here, you probably have a whole bunch of shorts that are setting up stops immediately above here because they know what's going to happen if we break out above, especially right here. They're going to fill this gap if we take out this high here. So they're setting up stops right along that ridge. All right, let's move on. Let's pull back to a 5-minute chart. And I want to pause here again, folks. You know, you saw a little bit of a rally on Friday afternoon, not much, a little bit of a rally off the lows of the session. A phrase that I use at a time like this. It's an old trader's adage. I did not make it up. Today's lows could be tomorrow's highs. Today's lows could be tomorrow's highs. So as long as we remain in a downtrend and we're closing at or near the lows of the day, it's not time to buy yet. You need a washout like we're potentially seeing now and a bullish key reversal bar and a rally to close positive on the day. Then you're going to get all sorts of short-term trade money moving in there to help support the market. We're not there yet. Let's take a look at, let's go back to the S&P 500 for a moment. This is a 5-minute chart, no new lower lows, 5-minute time frame. I want to take a look at yields. If yields are plunging, they're not plunging. Honestly, yields being up right now is probably the best thing for this market. Sorry about all this spaghetti here. You know what? Let's get rid of it. This is a weekly chart of the NQ. I may be doing a little bit of buying here tonight live, like we did with natural gas a couple of weeks ago, which was a good trade. But I'll only put on a very, very small position, but it has to come to us. It has to hit our support level. Let's take a look at the Russell 2000. It is off its lows of the session, but still down about 0.75 of a percentage point. Now, the Russell was supposed to be the new rotation play, but in all probability, that is gone now because you had the regional banks that fell apart last week. You had the biotechs, which fell apart last week. If you do not have the regional banks rallying along with the biotechs, the Russell 2000 is not going to lead the market. End of statement. Okay, so those are the equity markets. A blistering open here. And as for the dollar is down, which kind of makes sense. It's probably going to continue going down. It did not act as a safe haven play, as historically it would have with a yield curve, which I'll be talking about in a little while, a yield curve that is almost uninverted. Folks, you heard it here. The uninversion of the yield curve is only a couple of basis points away. So if you think this is something, this sell-off, you ain't seen nothing yet. So we've been talking about this for a long time now. Unfortunately, the time is here. So buckle up. It's going to be a rocky ride. I'm not saying that there are not going to be opportunities to buy this market. There will be. But you need to have capital. You need to have cash on the sidelines to help finance your trades. And if you're on margin, on any rally, you got to think about lightening up. You got to think about lightening up because you have your brokerage firm that's your senior partner. If they raise margin requirements on you, they can take you out of a trade like that. So please be careful of forced liquidation. If you're wondering why equity markets open up the way they do like now, let's go back to the NQ for visuals as I pontificate here. If you're wondering why they trade and open up the way they do, it's called forced liquidation. So that's what you're seeing right now, fear. And when there's fear in the market, you want to have your own personal bank. You got to have that capital ready to put to work. So I kind of view this as an opportunity. We're short. We have still some longs, but we're hedged. So therefore, I can sleep at night. I'm good. And now we want to take advantage of what appears to be blood in the streets. This doesn't happen often, but when it does, you got to capitalize on it. Let's take a look at Euro. And I want to point out something here. Euro is down at the open, but the intraday chart means nothing. What matters is the weekly chart. We talk about bullish key reversal bars setups all the time. You saw it last week, a bullish key reversal, a breakout. Euro is going up higher. What else just blew the doors off of the euro last week was the yen. The Japanese yen, big breakout. And now you're seeing a continuation breakout this week. What happened to the US dollar? We've been warning about this. US dollar broke down, bearish key reversal bar. We're probably heading into a new bear market. In fact, let me rephrase. Allow me to rephrase. My apologies. We are now in a new bear market. Forget about that 20% rule. I care about lower highs and confirmation breakdowns. So there's your lower high on a weekly chart. There is, we'll make this a pretty lavender, your confirmation breakdown. So very bearish price action for the US dollar. Now, some may say, that's good for our Dow Jones Industrial Average stocks. And you'd be right. It is. It's good for the Dow Jones stocks. That assumes that everybody else out there is buying what we have to produce. But what it also is, a weaker US dollar is very inflationary. Why is that? Well, we don't manufacture all that much here as much as we used to. We import stuff, junk from China. And what do? We pay for it with worthless dollars. And they're getting cheaper by the day. So those goods, unless China is going to cut costs and cut prices, those goods become more expensive because the U.S. consumer has reduced purchasing power. So if you're wondering why the Amazons of the world are probably going to roll over here even further than what they did last week, look no further than the U.S. dollar. Now, speaking of currencies, once we do currencies, we have to take a look at gold. We have to take a look at silver. And since we have a position at current anyway in palladium, we'll take a look at it. Gold. Very powerful week last week. We closed at a new all-time closing high. But on the session, we are up, but off the highs of the session. So today we put in a new all-time high on gold. As for silver, silver popping up higher here, very bullish setup. Let's take a look at how it closed out the week last week. Right below its 21 period EMA. Back to the 5-minute. Palladium. Palladium moving up slightly. Copper. So the commodities complex, the metals are catching a bid this evening. Let's check out crude prices, which got slammed last week. Crude prices gapping up here a 0.5 percentage point, but they've already begun to fade off of those highs. Let's check in with natty gas. Not a good week last week for natural gas. And at the open here, no bueno, down a 0.5 percentage point. Let's stick with commodities for a moment, looking at soybeans. Let's go weekly view here. Weekly view, a failed breakout last week on soybeans, wheat, an inside bar, and a breakout last week. Wheat could be a buy. We want to know if we put in a new higher, weekly higher high. What happens here? Why did that fire off? Okay. What about corn? What about our corn? Corn prices looking good here. You know, they closed down last week, but I get the vibe that this is going to rip out of this gate soon. I wouldn't be a buyer yet. You can see they're already drifting it up, building a base, 30-minute time frame. Let's go 4-hour view. That's a better tell. It's firming up. Corn looking bullish, even though we were down last week. Let's check back in really quick with the S&Ps first. Back to a 5-minute chart. They're drifting it up. To me, this is lackluster. It's reminiscent of a bear flag setup. Yes, we're coming off an overbought level. I think ultimately what we're going to do here is that we're going to fail. Checking in with the NQ. Very lackluster up move here. No volume to speak of. Look at the selling volume versus the buying volume. And now we're beginning to reverse here a little bit. Yeah, they're going to sell it. Okay. Our alerts are set. The only way we're going to buy any NASDAQ futures here is if they come to us. We have our alert set. If that alert does not fire off, I'm not a buyer here. We want the shares, or we want the prices to come to us. Simple as that. Okay, let's go to comments, and then we will do our big, huge announcement. Hurricane Debbie is hitting Florida hard at the moment. What part? Where is it hitting ground now? Where did it hit ground, and where is it now? Don't know. I'm visiting in Ohio. Ah, gotcha. Thanks, Paul. I'm in Arizona. It's just as hot. Same here in New York. Hello from San Francisco. Nice and cool here, I bet. Hey, Joel. OG1, Nikkei market down 3.76%. Do I have the Nikkei on here? Weird thing about Thinkorswim, you don't get as many futures as you think that you ought to. Let's go look up here. I don't know if this is open. No, that's Friday. No, I can't get it here. It would take me too long to figure it out. I'm sure I could pull something up. Let's try one last thing. Yeah, we're open. Nikkei, I'm showing Nikkei down, the 225, down about 0.84%. But it did some crashing last week. That's because they are increasing rates over there. So the yen is rallying, and that is not good for their stocks because their goods become more expensive overseas. Japan being obviously a very, very big exporting nation. Okay, Sean, welcome. Yeah, how long will the yen do? It could last a while. I mean, this has been going on for 30 years, so it's gonna take a while. Hey, TF Hatter, welcome. Last week, yeah, it's popping up now. The question is, does it fade? And that's typically what we see. OG1 Kenobi, you seeing silver and gold in the red on the session, or because I'm not showing that. I'm showing gold up at current. And relative to the close on Friday, up as well. So, not sure. Maybe you're referencing another time frame. Okay, let's talk about something that I've been working on. A little bit of context here. I began the Contrarian Trader in December of 2005, and I did it due to not the financial crisis, due to the dot-com bubble. And you had guys that were on CNBC day and night, constantly, whether it be Bernie Ebbers, Jeff Skilling, what's that guy over at Business Insider, the analyst. I forget his name. But all these guys were either sanctioned or they were thrown in jail. Bernie Ebbers died in jail. So the corruption that I saw out there, and honestly, I didn't have any idea how corrupt it was until after everything imploded. So that's why I started the Contrarian Trader, so that we were looking at technical analysis. So in this day and age now, where we find ourselves in, where manipulation of data, manipulation of the narrative to try to get people to buy stocks when they shouldn't, I said, you know what? I want to do something bigger. I want to cast a wider net. And so what I set up, and it's not launched yet, it will be on the August 30th of this year. And you can see that on your upper left of your screen, I believe it should be there, is a barcode scan, or you can click the link below, join our waiting list. Now, members, you're already included in the members version of this. So there'll be two levels. One's a free version. The other is a members version. Obviously, trade alerts and whatnot, that's going to be unchanged. It'll be in the members version, so no change in services. But what this will do, I want to be able to have a very, very professional, engaging, a value add for a newbie trader or even a professional trader that wants to come in, post their trade, have a conversation about the markets, not have to worry about on Twitter being bashed or being teased for asking what they may be, what the reader may be viewing as a silly question. That's not going to be tolerated. That will not be tolerated. We don't do that in our members area. We kid around all the time. I promote that, have a great time, but we always treat each other with a certain level of respect. And certain members that are frequent users of the members area, they will have moderation access. So they'll be able to, out there, if they don't want to, they don't have to. But if they see something they don't believe to be up at our level of professionalism, they can suspend or, God forbid, potentially ban somebody. But this is what we're building out. And I give it a little bit more detail here in this video that I have set up here. That's me. That's me today in my backyard. And these are just some of the services that we'll be providing in that forum. And as it builds, I think it's more of the networking effect that will bring the value add to members. And also, frankly, I really want to build our membership base. And to do that, I think that we need a more engagement, one-to-one engagement, and we'll be able to do that in a forum format. So we're not going to be using a Discord channel. I don't like that stuff. I think it's cheap, it's noisy, it's gamified. What we'll be doing is we're using something called Mighty Networks. It cost me a lot of money. I went top tier with it. So it's more of like a Facebook style setup. So please join in, and there'll be awards for participation, badges, etc., and a lot more to come. So head on over, either use your phone to use the barcode scan on your screen or use the link below. If you're watching this on Twitter, go up to the Linktree area, click this link here, and it'll take you over to the opt-in page. We're only doing this for a limited number of people. Once we get an organic community, a healthy community, then I'm probably going to charge a few dollars for access just to pay for expenses. That's it. I'm not going to be charging a ridiculous amount of money. But when you charge a dollar value, as minimal as it is, people tend to value it more. So right now, we just want to get it up and running. It'll be free, so take advantage of it. It's a limited time. So hope to see you on the other side there. August the 30th, we will be launching. So head on over and let's get to the rest of our show. And if you have any questions, pop them in the email area. Let's go to comments. Hi, Bob. YPEP, MCD, and UNH are all up. Consumer staples. Consumer staples. That's a safe haven play. It doesn't mean that they're going to hold up if the overall market sells off. They may just end up breaking down. But right now, those are safe haven plays. Yields are going down. So what happens in a declining yield environment? Investors chase yield. So they want that dividend yield now, because that dividend yield at current plus the net asset appreciation of the share price provides them more alpha, because bonds are not going to be yielding what they are right now in a few months. So that's why you're seeing sector rotation into staples. Something just fired off here. Let's check it out. NQ, let's bring that up. I didn't know whether it said on or below. All right, so we have done what here? At or above. Okay, let's go back to the 5-minute chart. We have not taken out lows. We are not seeing volume. Okay, let's let this play out. I'm not a buyer. I'm not a seller here. I am just simply a participant and a voyeur. All right, let's talk about economic data coming out this week. On Monday, we get, this is a revision, so not an important number. ISM Services, PMI, Purchasing Managers Index, at 10 a.m. We have a 10 a.m. report. Beware of that. ISM Services comes out. Previous read was below 50. That's a sign of contraction. We have a services economy, so that economy is in contraction. Trade deficit, nobody cares about that anymore. Consumer credit, nobody cares about that anymore. They will. Thursday, initial jobless claims. They cared about that last week. So not a big week for economic data. The probability of an ease for September, 100%. Oh, TLT. Oh, by the way, on this, I forgot to mention, instead of, because it's very, very hard to track all the requests that come through here, if you want the requests, I always put it in the hierarchy of members first. I got to get through the members first. I have a bunch that I have to go through tonight. Then non-members, it's very difficult to track them in this forum. So moving forward, once this is launched on August the 30th, that first Sunday after August the 30th, actually that's Labor Day, that Monday night when we go live, those requests will need to be in the community. So that's where we're going to host them, and that's where I'm going to go to look for them before the show begins. That way I can prepare, go over them, and I can blow through a lot more of them. Most all food drinks are up, which people may even eat in a recession. Yes. Holding more socks. So that's the short. Yeah, okay, so you're short. I got you. Post a new area to this page so everyone can see. It's not launched yet, Franklin. It's not launched yet. So it's in beta right now. I'm just testing it out and adding stuff to it. So once it's launched on the 30th, I'm going to send out an email to everybody. So they're going to have access. If you're already on our email list, I'm going to send you the email list anyway. So you will have access to it. Just got to enroll. That's it. And I'm not asking for credit card information or anything like that. One man band. Do you see silver going to 33? Yes. Has there ever been a Black Sunday because overnight trading opens in 90 minutes? Yes. Well, no, actually, no. No. 1987, I think it was 3 a.m. That's when the futures market began to roll over. And I got that from Kramer. We read that one. Questions are answered on YouTube. Yes. That's a good question, though. We may change that. Sometimes I don't get to all the questions, so if they're posted, it's a good idea. If they're posted in the community area, I can get to them and answer them quickly. The good ones I'll air. The other questions I can answer before we go live. Good idea. And this is how it's all going to evolve. Whatever suggestions you have, please share them. I'm also looking at Utz and Fizz, which over a year, the Fizz has paid $16 in dividends over the past few years, okay? Bob, do you think buying BAC at 35 would be okay? Well, take a look at the chart, Michael. I am not happy with the banks at current. They gapped down. I got stopped out of Morgan Stanley on Friday morning. Thank God I did because it kept falling. So I do not like the price action there whatsoever. I think that we're into correction zone. Just join the waiting list. Looking forward. Thank you. You're very welcome. Thanks for joining in. I appreciate it very much. And again, if you have any suggestions, let me know, and we'll build it out together. It's a team effort, and whatever forum that you're in now that you wish that they had and they don't, I'll add it. If it makes sense, we'll add it. If there's something that they have that you like and you want to see brought over, let me know. I'll add it. So please let me know, and we'll build it out together. And everybody really liked, a lot of people liked the small account club. I haven't done that video in quite a while, or those live streams. Once we go live with the new community, then I'm going to be doing those live streams again, but inside the community, if that makes sense. So, and also I'm going to be posting the replays, like the week ahead commentary, which I do on Saturdays and release on Saturdays to members. I'll release that probably on Tuesday. If you want to get a vibe for, it's kind of dated, to be honest with you. But if you want to see what the members are getting and you see value in it, you want to get it real time, then maybe that will cause you to join and become a member. So it's just a great way of building relationships, and you can ask questions and whatnot. Can you take a look at FAZ? Yeah, FAZ is the bank leverage product. Yeah. I would not buy it now. I can tell you right now, I'm going to say don't buy it now because we're going to get a rally here. I'm very, very confident that we're going to get a rally, especially, and this is going to sound counterintuitive, especially if the markets open up with a bloodbath tomorrow morning, because I'll be buying. I will be buying. So you must know where your support levels are and have the courage of your convictions. If you're hitting support levels, that you should be stepping in and build your position so that if you're wrong and we close down the support level and you stop out small. However, if you're building your position, it appears as though we are going to close above a support level. You get a bullish reversal bar on volume. You nibble more, nibble hard. And then on that rally, know where your resistance levels are and get out. Go to cash. Think about buying bonds. We're going to go over TLT in a moment. TLT, I went over on my top 5 picks for the coming week. I wouldn't buy it right here, right now, because it's a little bit overbought. It's going to spike up again in the morning. Something just fired off here. Nothing important. See, we're not getting the follow through to the upside that you would expect on a sell-off like this. We're only back to being down, down a percentage point. Here's the 15-minute view. Not a lot of conviction to the upside. So again, to me, this is a bear flag setup in the making. So I would not get trapped into this. Now, if we rally and we take out these highs here, then I'm a buyer. Then I would think about buying, because now you're going from lower highs and lower lows to now higher lows and higher highs. That's what I'd be looking for in this market. Okay, moving on. Enough with this community talk. Bob, why do you want to buy in this reflexive market? Just an index or heavily short? So you could just buy the, okay, so you could do both. That's the beauty of it. If you have the capital on the sidelines, if you're buying an index, the index is always going to come back. What is this? Oh, SNY. I don't care about that. I don't know how these common stocks are being added to firing off alerts right now. They're not even trading. You can see we're beginning to sell back off here. All right, so back to the question at hand from Joel. It was a good question. Why do you want to buy in this reflexive market? Because it's a trader's market. We love volatility. Traders love volatility. So we know that stocks trade in a range. Okay, primarily they trade in a range, and once you extend that rubber band too far in a direction than what is the norm, and you hit a support level, you're going to get a reversion to the mean trade, a reversion to the mean. You could use the 21-20 period EMA as your mean target, but you want to buy on extreme pullbacks, sell the rally, and get out on a reversion to the mean. Now, do I want to do that with extreme oversold stocks? or just the index, I would prefer the index. It's more liquid. Heavily shorted stocks are not always that liquid, but indexes generally are. I can get in, I can get out. So I prefer to go with the indexes. Now for a macro trade, like right now, CrowdStrike, which is a bloodbath and a half. Here's CrowdStrike, weekly time frame. And folks, I'm going to throw up this is my new toy today, the QR code for TrendSpider. If you're not currently a member, you got to join TrendSpider, 35% discount code minimum. Use that link, scan it, or use the link below. Or if you watch us on Twitter, up on my link tree above. So just all you need to do is take a look at where we're at to identify where we may have support below. And what do we do? On the week last week, we smashed right through one resistance level, did a back test, failed. This is where Kathy Woods was buying. We'll go to that in a moment. Let's go to a monthly chart. Let's throw up we don't have any, this doesn't make sense. Oh yeah, we do have support below. Quarterly, there's not enough data here. So let's use our drawings. So these are my support levels that I've drawn here on CrowdStrike. We bounced off of one last week. What I'd like to see is an overshoot to the downside to about $200 per share. You know that there are a lot of shorts in this name, and once we hit $200 per share, I think you're going to get a rip your face off rally on CrowdStrike. So CrowdStrike is definitely a name that we're not going to know the outcome of the damage that's been done to this company for probably about 2 quarters. So any trade I put on will be just that, a short-term swing trade, and then I am out. Same deal with the indexes. So that's an example of one stock that I would want to buy that's got a lot of shorts in it right now, ripe for short squeeze. Also take note that on a daily time frame, you have RSI. Where are my RSI? Here's RSI. Let's get this off. We have about a 15 handle on RSI, on CrowdStrike, and it can go lower. So we're looking for about $200 a share. I'll send out an alert to members when we begin to accumulate, build a position. We're not there yet. So CrowdStrike, definitely on our watch list for the new trading week. I'm probably going to do a separate video. I did not include it in today's video. Probably going to do a separate one. Okay, let's continue on. Equities, big sell-off week last week, right? Stocks are cheap. Let's go in and buy the market, right? No. The Shiller PE ratio is still at 34.5. Very, very expensive. The Buffett indicator, still overvalued. So Warren Buffett, we're going to talk more about Warren Buffett in a moment. Let me not get ahead of myself. Bitcoin, running out of time already. Can't believe this. Bitcoin crashing ahead of U.S. Open. And here is Bitcoin at current. I don't know why it says down only 2.84% here. I guess it's the futures. That's why it's playing catch up. It's playing catch up from Friday on the futures market. That's what it's doing. That's what it's doing. Because Thinkorswim does not calculate Bitcoin over 59.3. We're right in the ballpark. So we dollar cost average every Monday into Bitcoin. I'll be more than happy to buy this dip. All right. Headlines over the weekend. A lot of the Leviathan or the Goliath that's out there, that is the deep state, globalist deep state, they are showing their fangs now, man. They're not hiding anything anymore. Anti-immigration protests in UK spreads as Elon Musk warns of civil war is inevitable. I'm not going to go into the Islam stuff. I don't want to go there. That's not this type of show. What I want to talk about is the government the government. And the government, anti-immigration activist Martin Sellner gave a lecture yesterday on censorship. Love this. Police showed up and shut it down. Let's play this. I'll get demonetized on YouTube, but I don't care. I'm going to stop sharing. I need to reshare so I can share the audio. I'm curious. Cool. Okay, I'm going to share audio.
Das sind die anstrengendsten Dinge an der Meinungsfreiheit in Deutschland. Das Verbot des Kompaktmagazins.
German.
Herrlich, wie auf Kommando. Grüß Gott.
Grüß Gott, Herr Sellner, Jan, mein Name, Polizeiführer von...
Wie ist Ihr Name, pardon?
Jan.
Jan. Freue mich sehr, dass Sie hier sind, Jan.
Herr Jan.
Herr Jan, sind Sie an meinem Vortrag interessiert?
Nein, ich habe eine Aufenthaltsverbotsverfügung für die Gemeinde Neulingen für Sie, die in den Sofortvollzug gesetzt
I'm not going to
wird.
play this whole thing. I think you get the idea
Also
what's going on
abgeschoben,
over
oder
in
wie?
Europe.
Sie werden nicht abgeschoben, Sie dürfen sich auf dem Gemeindegebiet Neulingen...
Okay, it doesn't end there. Oh, Joel, let's go back to your question. Question was, what do you want to buy? Well, CrowdStrike is one. Of individual stocks, CrowdStrike is my favorite because the downtrend right now, short term, is unsustainable. All right, so I want to buy that unsustainable downtrend. The key is it must be at historical support. All right, and I won't be an aggressive buyer until such time as we get a bullish key reversal bar day. So that's one. The other one is just simply right now the NQ. I would buy either the triple Qs, of which I'm short using the SQQQ. But we're going to get a rally here. This week we are going to rally. I'm not saying that it's going to be tomorrow or Tuesday. It may not be. But in all probability, we are going to get a rip your face off rally this week. The problem is that people are going to think that the sell-off is over and it's only just begun. And I'm going to tell you why in a moment. SPY has 3 black crows on a weekly. Yes. It happened in Germany. A left-wing German government is a disgrace. I think that's going for pretty much the entire EU right now, right? Very, very sad what's going on. I've been to Europe. It's such a beautiful place, beautiful people. Shocking. And it's happening here. Our governments know better. More headlines that are out there. And this is a major, major problem. This could draw us in. Jittery Israel braces for 5-front war as officials predict Iran to attack on Monday. I doubt that Iran is going to attack directly, but probably through their proxies via Hamas and other organizations. CENTCOM, that's us. So it looks like there's going to be a big, big attack. Yeah, the Houthi rebels attacked another ship in the Red Sea. I'm not sure how or why they keep sailing ships through there, but they do. And another one got hit today. And this is all inflationary. So here's the problem. And everybody thinks it's going to be great that the Federal Reserve is going to cut rates. We sold off yesterday, or on Friday, and the dollar sold off. It was not perceived as a safe haven. Nor was Bitcoin, to be fair. Nor was gold, to be fair, but gold, to a much lesser extent, was down. Whereas Bitcoin continued to sell off into the weekend, and now gold is up this session. So the dollar is not the safe haven play. Bonds still are. And I've always said, you know when it's over for the United States, when bonds and the dollar correct in tandem for a certain length of time, for an extended period of time. That is a vote of confidence by the world of them saying, we don't want your currency. We're sending them back. We don't want your bonds because you're out of your mind with your debt and your fiscal deficit spending. So when that happens, things are going to get real fast. And everybody's going to think that, wow, Fed Chair Powell, he's going to cut rates. life is going to go back to normal just like it was during the Trump era? No, it's not. It's not, because this time around, the dollar is going down. Everybody was cutting rates 5 years ago, 6 years ago. Everybody was cutting rates. Nobody was raising them. So you had equilibrium. The dollar was the least dirty shirt in the basket. This time around, you have the Japanese raising rates. EU is beginning to fight inflation a little bit more aggressively. So what happens to the dollar? It declines even further than the last time. Last time, dollar went up in an inflationary environment. Now, the dollar may be moving down. That in and of itself is inflationary. So we may not get the return that we've gotten in past rate cut cycles this time around, because it's a much different picture. We have far more debt, 35 trillion in debt. Let's move on because I'm getting long in the tooth here. Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett. Did Warren Buffett just call a market top? This is actually dated. He was heavy into cash a couple of months ago. Last quarter, Berkshire Hathaway sold more than $75.5 billion worth of stock, according to Zero Hedge. This means Berkshire Hathaway sold more stock last quarter than any other quarter in its history. I don't know whether that's on a relative basis, adjusted for inflation or what, but we'll take it at face value. Buffett is now sitting on a record $277 billion of cash. To put this into perspective, Berkshire Hathaway now owns 4% of all T-bills. All T-bills. Think about it. What went up on Friday? T-bills. They even own more T-bills than the $195 billion on the Federal Reserve's balance sheet. When Warren Buffett holds more T-bills than the Fed itself, you know he's worried. Buckle up. He was a buyer up until September of 2022, nearly 2 years ago. Now, here's a different fund manager, Kathy Woods. Great person, Christian lady, seems like a very sweet person. She will never see a dime of my money. Never, ever, never, ever, ever. She has a tendency to buy stocks at their highs. Very, very impulsive buyer. She does not have a technical analyst on staff. I'm pretty confident, I could be wrong. If she does have a technical analyst, she needs to fire him if she's relying upon his analysis of an individual equity, because this is a trend. She has bought Tesla at ridiculous prices, and she rides them lower. And she's riding now CrowdStrike down to historical support levels. She better be ready to double down, average cost down, which you don't want to do if you're a fund manager, because that's not what you should be doing, and get out of that trade. Back to Mr. Buffett. We already kind of went over this. Oh, what he did do, he sold a tremendous amount of Apple stock. Look at the decline. This is one of his largest holdings for the longest time. And now he's dropped off a massive amount of Apple stock. So that's a major league tell. All of what he's doing right now is typical Warren Buffett. Stocks get too expensive as measured by the aforementioned Buffett indicator. He raises capital and he gets ready for the bloodbath in the street, just like we're doing. Get your shopping list ready. This is all good stuff. So what happens next here for this market? I've gone over this a bunch of times, and yield curve. On Thursday night, I said on this chart that we had gapped up into the wick of the month of July. We had yet to make new monthly higher highs. I said that was extremely bullish. You can go back Thursday night, stock charts live this past Thursday when I did the analysis here. Friday, we just ripped the doors up higher on the yield curve. What happened to equities? What always happens to equities when you get the uninversion of the yield curve, the steepening of the yield curve, they drop like a rock. So let's take a quick peek at the 30-year view, I know this is noisy, but it's valuable data. .com crisis, for those that are not familiar. Here's the yield curve, steepening, S&P 500 in gray, rolled over, oil, rolled over, gold, based, rally. 2007, 2008, steepening of the yield curve, equities, ultimately rolled over, oil, rallied along with the inversion, then rolled over and rolled over hard. We went into recession. 2020, steepening yield curve, equities again in gray, corrected here, recovered quickly. Oil went to zero for the most part in the futures market, and gold based, and now we're off to all-time highs. We are at all-time highs. So this is what we're dealing with. We are here again, just like we were in 2020, just like we were in 2007, just like we were in 2000. What was a constant the entire time? Let's replace gold with TLT. There's not enough data for 2000 to show the TLT. But the TLT, what did it do during the financial crisis? It rallied. What did it do during COVID? It rallied. What's it doing now? It's rallying. Rinse, wash, repeat. I got so many alerts firing off on my phone. It's ridiculous. So, again, we are here again. More inflation data. Goldman says mid-power electric prices finally caught up with AI data center load growth. So we're paying for AI data centers, and it's going to come out of our pockets to pay for this. So more inflation out there in the utility land because of these data centers, and they're only going to grow in size. All right, let's do some chart requests. We have a few minutes left. We went over CrowdStrike. TLT we'll talk about briefly. Now, TLT, we'll go over the daily chart. If you want the full analysis, go over and watch the TLT, the best stock chart analysis for the new trading week. I posted it today on YouTube. If you're on an email list, it was sent out to you.
I like to do the opposite.
Yeah, let me get the link. I will share this out if you want to watch it later on. Okay. I like crowd idea, but I remember BA over 400. Well, yeah, BA. Boeing had counter trend rallies. You're going to get a counter trend rally. So I'm pretty confident in the CrowdStrike trade. Not overly confident, because that would be very, very bad. Bob, looks bad over there in fighting, and they want to impose martial law and attack civil rights. Yeah, it's all about taking away rights. It's always about that. Every time you have a crisis, you need government intervention. And what do every time they intervene? You give up a certain amount of your rights. That's what COVID was all about. That's what the Patriot Act is all about after 9/11. It was all about taking away your rights. So fight back. Let them know we see you. Go on Twitter. Let them know we see you. We know what you're doing. Bob, shops in Hull were smashed, looted, and burned in a day in protest. Unrest in the city. That saw at least 3 police officers injured. Hull is a city in Great Britain. Forgive me for not knowing that. I'm usually pretty good with my geography. TLT. I wouldn't buy this. I don't care if it moves up tomorrow. In fact, I'd probably short it tomorrow at the open for a scalp. Why? We're overbought. and we have resistance above. We closed above one resistance level. You're going to have resistance at around 99.60 tomorrow. That's overlay weekly. And by the way, again, we're using TrendSpider automated technical analysis. You can use the QR scan in front of you, or use the link below if you watch this on YouTube, or the link tree above on Twitter. Get a 35% discount code at a bare minimum. And also, for those that are joining, and I know 50% of you out there, due to my analytics, are not subscribed to the channel. So please subscribe to the channel, because I just announced earlier, if you're just joining in, QR code in front of you, join our opt-in email list for a new trading community that is opening up. For now, at current, there's a wait list. It'll launch on August 30th. It is free until we get to a certain number of people. Then we're going to be charging a small dollar amount each month to pay the bills. That's all. But it's not going to be some cheap Discord channel. It's a very, very nice Mighty Networks platform, and it is not inexpensive. So TLT, beautiful breakout on a weekly time frame. Again, folks, you need to pay attention to where we have resistance above on a daily chart. We have on a monthly chart. We have no resistance on a monthly chart or a weekly chart. But going back again to that daily chart, there it is right up there. All right, so be very, very careful about buying TLT here. Wait for the pullback. Entertain nibbling at 97.60 or a filling of the gap at 95.97. An extreme pullback, 94.80. I don't know if we're going to get back down that far for now anyway. What else do we have here? Apple. Is Apple a buy? Let's go to the weekly chart. We don't have a double top here on a weekly chart, but I don't like Apple. I've been suspect of Apple for a long time now. Tim Cook has done a nice job of building out the services end of the business. What's really their gangbuster product? It's the same old thing. It's the iPhone. So I think they're running out of gadgets, and they're running out of the ability to squeeze that services business. So we're in a downtrend channel at current. I wouldn't short it. I wouldn't buy it here. Volume last week was good. We closed up on the week. I would short on a break and a close below yesterday's low. Excuse me, Friday's lows. What else do we have here? Oh, what was the other one? See, this is the problem with using the live stream for these symbols. I miss them. After I shut down, I go back and I take a look, and I miss a lot of, I don't know why these are firing off. The market's closed. Those are common stocks. Ooh. Bitcoin is flirting with a potential breakdown to new lower lows. Russell 2000 rolling over. NQ rolling over here. That's that bear flag setup. This is why you got to wait for support to get hit. Okay, FAZ broke out last week. This is a daily chart. Let's go weekly first. A beautiful setup here. You have a Bollinger Band squeeze. The Bollinger Bands are trading inside the Keltner channels. Bollinger Bands in red, Keltner channels in green. A lot of volatility, a lot of compression built up here, energy, if you will. It looks as though this is going to get resolved up. Bullish. Daily chart. I wouldn't buy it right here, right now. I'd probably wait for a pullback to probably 970. and then I would nibble there. What else do we have? I know I'm missing another one. We did TLT. See how much time this kills? We did TLT. All right. DAL said going. Yes, that's why it continued to drop down. I don't trust any tech that, and most of all, tech still overbought, with everyone still thinking we are in going. Yeah, it's definitely still overbought. No doubt about it. It's very expensive. Okay. All right, everyone. I think that is it for this evening. Thank you for being here. Don't forget, folks, we are launching the new trading community August the 30th, free of charge right now. Sign up there, join our wait list, and we'll be going live on the 30th. I may do the initial, the Labor Day edition of Sunday Night Futures Live on that platform in the private area. So please sign up now, and I'm probably going to do that. So opt in, join in, and I'll send out a link to everyone on our email list probably on the morning of the 30th to sign up. We'll send out a couple of reminders as well so you don't miss out. Thanks for being here. Have a profitable trading week. I'll talk to you soon. Be well. Take care, Joel and Franklin. Have a great night.